From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. An update to a story we first told you about last night here on the MTN News at 5:30. First Student, the company hired to transport Billings school students, has wasted no time firing a bus driver arrested for DUI while driving a school bus filled with kids. 46-year-old Keith Jones was driving a First Student bus when police say multiple Ben Steele students noticed erratic and unsafe driving behavior. He was arrested for DUI, drugs, and felony criminal endangerment. Well, First Student sent a statement saying, "We are, quote, incredibly disappointed for our former driver's actions. First Student has a zero-tolerance policy for employees whose actions may put others at risk. Behavior such as this is completely unacceptable and at odds with what we stand for as a company." Now, we spoke with a student and parent last night.
A lot of them were scared and contacted their parents about it, and some of them thought we were gonna crash or something. I told her there was something up when we were riding the bus, and I was really scared on it.
I got a text message from him saying "love you," which is not out of the ordinary. But it just seemed a little odd today, but I was in the middle of work, so I continued doing what I was doing, and he informed me as soon as I got home about what had happened, and it was probably not even 10 minutes later I ended up reading the article that was posted about it.
Keith Jones is scheduled to be arraigned in district court on Monday morning at 9. Superintendent Greg Upham says he will meet with First Student corporate office personnel next week. He's requested a full investigation and wants to know what happened and how to prevent anything like that in the future. Well, tonight we've just learned of 3 new deaths at the long-term care facility in Flathead County, where 11 patients have now died from COVID-19 related symptoms. Those deaths in addition to 3 COVID-related deaths reported by the state today in Rosebud County, a spacious eastern Montana county that has a small population of just about 9,000 people. Now, this brings the state death toll to 150 as we enter the weekend. This as Montana, for a second day in a row, broke a record of confirmed COVID-19 cases. 224 new active cases reported today. 31 new cases were reported here in Yellowstone County. Well, as the year grows closer to an end, we also grow closer to flu season. The CDC reports that a record number of flu vaccines have been ordered this year in preparation. The similarities between COVID symptoms and flu symptoms are similar, though the loss of taste and smell has been commonly experienced in COVID patients. Now, it is possible for people to be infected by both COVID and the flu, so health officials are reminding people that now is a good time to start thinking about getting those seasonal vaccines. There is also a separate dose for elderly individuals comprised of a different combination of the A and B antigens designed for this vulnerable age group.
Kids under the age of 6 months really can't get the flu vaccine, so getting your flu vaccine, you're protecting those that can't get the vaccine. So you're protecting those that are younger, you're protecting those that are immunocompromised that can't receive the vaccine. So that's why it's so important.
And Riverstone has the vaccine on hand currently, and they say that more has been ordered this year than in any year in the past. All right, turning to Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire. Bob, still a little smoky out there, but you said some good news is coming this way.
Yeah, that is. When I came to work today, we had visibility of 8 miles in the Billings area. It since then has gotten a little worse. This is the way it looked a little while ago. 7-mile visibility. So at the moment, we're getting a little more smoke moving in here. But you'll notice here the air quality in western 2/3 of the state is considered to be unhealthy, not only here in the Billings area, but all the way through the northwestern corner of the state. In eastern Montana, it's basically good to moderate air quality. So it's getting a little bit better there. But let me show you, right now, Billings is no longer in the air quality warning area. That's on western Montana. That stays with us until basically 3:45 tomorrow afternoon. Northern Wyoming also has an air quality warning until 1:15 on Saturday. But here's the good news we talked about. Low pressure cell that we've been talking about all week has now finally moved on shore. It's been producing heavy rain in Washington, Oregon, and also producing some rain showers in the Great Basin area in Nevada. And that stuff is starting to make its way up into Montana, and that could bring some scattered rain showers away. Some wind could kind of blow out the smoke. If not, maybe it will wash it out. Anyway, we'll have more about that coming up in a few more minutes. Russ?
All right, thank you, Bob. The third Friday in September is National Prisoner of War and Missing in Action Day in the U.S. And in Laurel this morning, the American Legion held a remembrance ceremony. That ceremony taking place at Thompson Park and not only saw neighbors and veterans come out, but many students from nearby schools. The event featured speakers from the community as well as retired military members, and it was complete with the playing of taps and a volley from the American Legion Honor Guard. The United States has seen 87,000 missing in action soldiers, 54 from Montana and 1 from here in Yellowstone County.
His name is Alan Ashhall. He was shot down over Vietnam, and his plane and his remains still are unaccounted for. And in 2014, we were able to get in contact with his family, and we placed a memorial stone at the National Cemetery here in Laurel for Alan as a remembrance.
And of course, Allen and so many others may be lost, but they're not forgotten. U.S. Senator Steve Daines, who's up for re-election, and his Democratic challenger, Governor Steve Bullock, spoke to a gathering of U.S. Postal Service letter carriers today in Helena. Both candidates said they very much support sustaining the Postal Service and helping it get out of its financial straits. Daines, a Republican, pointed to his co-sponsorship of a bill that he said would ease unreasonable requirements at the Postal Service, pre-fund employee health benefits. He also said he wants to forgive a $10 billion loan to the Postal Service made earlier this year and work on more aid to get to the Postal Service through the coronavirus pandemic. Now, Daines said he's committed to preserving the Postal Service and doing it with bipartisan cooperation. Bullock, a Democrat, pointed to the lawsuit he filed 10 days ago to force the Postal Service to reverse actions taken in recent months that he said are delaying service. He said the lawsuit is fighting back against what he called attacks on public servants and on institutions like labor unions by big money interests.
There's a reason why union membership's half of what it was in the 1980s. It's not because everybody's now doing great, there's no reason to organize and collectively bargain. It's been outside dollars and outside forces that have been trying to attack those very institutions.
And let me just be clear too, I do not support privatization. I don't. That is, we have private options out there. You've got FedEx, you've got UPS. There's private options available. We must keep the United States Postal Service, in my opinion, the way it is.
The Letter Carriers Union in Montana has about 550 members. People in Montana around the nation have been waiting for weeks to have packages delivered with nothing showing up at their front doors. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt delivers us the latest on those delays and what's being done about it.
The USPS delivers mail to 60 million addresses 6 days a week, and FedEx serves 220 countries besides the U.S. But last month, due to pandemic pressures and natural disasters, those deliveries were delayed.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy said the Postal Service is committed to improving performance through increased discipline and more efficient mail processing, transportation, and delivery. And in the past few weeks, USPS has seen consistent improvement in service performance. FedEx has also experienced delays as a result of greater demand and less resources to meet those demands, as airlines they use for shipments have been subject to flight cancellations. In response to these pressures, FedEx has temporarily suspended some of their services, like their express money-back guarantee and signature confirmation upon delivery.
As carriers continue to serve the public during these uncertain times, customers can be certain of these delivery services' commitment to service. Reporting in Great Falls, Lindsay Hyatt, MTN News.
Well, this Sunday, Montana residents will learn more about the two candidates vying for the Attorney General's seat. MTN Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison interviewed Democrat Rafe Graybill and Republican Austin Knutson for a Zoom debate earlier this month. The two candidates are both practicing lawyers with experience ranging from arguing in the Montana Supreme Court to serving as House Speaker. Graybill lives in Helena and is chief legal counsel for Governor Bullock. Knutson resides in Culbertson, where he serves as Roosevelt County Attorney. During the half-hour debate, the two share their stances on issues including Department of Justice budget reallocation, Montana's methamphetamine problem, health care, public lands, and even voter registration. It was also a chance for the candidates to ask each other questions.
Austin, you have closed access to a veterans park in your hometown of Culbertson. and you're now suing that same group of veterans to block their access. In sworn court statements, those vets said that in 2016, when you were Speaker of the House, you verbally accosted them. Is that true, or are these vets liars?
Ray, if your entire experience in Montana is acting as Governor Bullock's chief legal counsel, we now know that one of Governor Bullock's former chief advisors was involved in fairly serious sexual harassment allegations, and that has gone on to other positions that he's been moved on to. Did you advise Governor Bullock to cover up the story of the sexual harassment allegations against one of his top staffers? And are you covering up any other allegations that we're going to learn about down the road?
Well, that debate can be seen right here on Q2 this Sunday morning at 9:30. Up next on tonight's Q2 530 News, there's talk around gubernatorial candidate Greg Gianforte's different views on the right to work bill. Gianforte explains his position. And in sports, youth is served for the West High volleyball girls who showcase 4 freshman starters. Scott will have that story.